Good moment. I'm Lauren, and this is the river that's been joining me in these metaphysical interpretations. I was with you on day 3, and this is day 10, and we're going to be talking about power. Of course, I will share with you some really beautiful rocks. And I was just noticing about how this river is full of so many beautiful different rocks of different shapes and colors and sizes. Like life. River of life. Today is day 10, and we are talking about power. If you're following along, we're using Keep a True Lamp by Charles Fillmore. And he introduced the 12 powers a few days ago. The 12 innate powers of man. One of which we're going to talk about today, which is power. So Charles used Luke 4:31 to 44 as his illustration of using our words, our speech, our feelings, our intention as connected to source as our power. And it brought to mind a beautiful connection with Valor. There were a couple of years there where I didn't think, many people didn't think that Valor would ever be rideable. And when I started to feel into this with him as our relationship was deepening, I felt him interpret the saddle and bridle as armor against him. And he didn't know why this armor was being put on him when he really wanted a very deep, intimate, personal connection with me. So I gave up the idea of riding him once I understood that I had put a condition on love, that if I loved him enough, he would let me ride him. If he loved me enough, he would let me ride him. So I let that go and just went into the purity of love. I had a time every day when I would just hold our connection in love without any conditions. And then one night, it was dark, it was raining, I was sitting on the top of the fence, and Valor was next to it eating hay. Roland was on the other side of the fence sitting in a chair. And I just felt this really strong pull to ride him bridleless and saddleless, because there would be no armor. So on that dark, rainy night, I stepped off the fence and stepped onto him. And I felt everything in him come alive. Like, oh, there's someone on my back. It's you. He looked back up at me, and I could see his eyes. And he saw me in his right eye, and then he turned and he saw me in his left eye. And he was like, oh. And he took a few steps. And I said to him, I feel completely out of control without my armor. I don't have a bridle. I don't have a saddle. I feel completely out of control. And Valor said to me, you are out of control, but now you are in power. And this beautiful messaging came through about dropping our weapons and dropping our armor so that we can hear the voice of the beloved. Because as long as we have armor and as long as we have weapons, all we're going to hear back is the voice of the enemy, amplified over and over and over. What is the beloved? It's our connection to source, to who and what we are. The I am cannot be divided against the I am. So there's a really fun notion where you can take the energetic or vibrational meaning of your name and feel into what that is. So Lauren, Laurel, historically means victory, victor. Renee is French for reborn, born again, created. And Henry, leader or sovereign, sovereign one, victorious creator, sovereign one. If I think of it that way, that is also my declaration to my connection to Source, victorious Creator, Sovereign One. That is also me. So on day 3, I talked about moving out of victor consciousness into vessel verity consciousness, which is the vessel is I'm the one floating on the river, and verity consciousness is I am the river. So we consider the source of this river is something unseen upstream. So imagine that for a moment. It's something frozen that melts. Or it comes from the sky, again, from the unseen into the seen, from the formless into form. We are spirit in form, and we are form remembering spirit. And how are we connecting in this way? Well, right now it's through speech. I am using the power center of my throat to create words, which creates a vibration, which you can hear and feel. So this also speaks to the quickening. There's some really beautiful explorations about what is the spirit of wholeness, the Holy Spirit. And as things unfold on this world stage, each one of us is being asked by our higher self, are you a part of the web of unity or the web of separation? So if I create a connection with Source, and let's say I go into just a direct language with Source that may not sound like this one. So I connect in, and I let that spirit flow in and then out through me to you. It might sound like, which would translate into, this is the connection to spirit, into the vibrational awareness without defining it in words. It is just a soul-to-soul connection, or what I would call a cellular rather than cellular connection, a soul-to-soul connection from spirit, from Source. A different way to look at things, a different way to feel things, a different way to express things. But within it is a dominion through surrender to the power that we have, to the power that is in us, to shift things, to change things. So each one of us will be asked to draw on this power. This is the beautiful time of year to do this. So after you've picked a spot on the river to look at, I invite you to close your eyes and just bring that image of the river to mind. And then focus on the area around your heart. This is what it feels like to be connected to Source. Just a moment of stillness, where we let all the outside influences fade away. And we listen to that voice inside. This is all you do. This is all it takes. There's a beautiful song that says, There is nothing more to do, and there is no place to go. Just keep falling more deeply in love until you and the beloved, till you and the source become one. This doesn't mean you run off and join a church or, you know, sell all of your belongings or anything like that. It doesn't mean anything like that has to shift or change. It just means the way you are in the world, from the inside out, changes. And then you can let the banks of the river do what the banks of the river are going to do as you contain just this river of faith, hope, love, strength, power, wisdom, imagination, understanding, zeal, your powers. Because you are powerful. Right. I look forward to connecting with you guys next time.